I mean, it depends on what you want. If you want to stick to that style, you're going to have to do multiple strikes. We can make one up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
For many people, the biggest draw of Eastern mythology is Kung Fu. To capture the fast-paced action of Eastern martial arts, BioWare will have to create a whole new combat system.
Can you do the hurricane kick?
It is a big departure for us in many ways. We've never really attempted a role-playing game with real-time action combat.
Jade Empire is the first time we've taken one of our role-playing games and moved it from a turn-based system into a real-time action combat system.
The decision to make a real-time combat system really came from just what you're trying to do in the game. Like when you become a martial arts master like Jade Empire, you know, just to really do the material justice, you really want to feel like you're in control.
We have over 30 styles, and we're getting a couple more all the time. And the good thing about this is you can change the styles instantly.
Paralyzing.
You can use the combos used from other things, and you'll just be astounded by the new effects you have.
Legendary fist.
So using that tactically is really what makes the game fun. So if you get in a group of enemies, there's a whole bunch of them, they're all surrounded, you switch to a really fast style, you use the clearing move, which is A and B combo, and everyone jumps out of the way, and then you switch back to a heavy one and concentrate on one opponent again. And that's all really fast, it's really intuitive. We were really excited that that came together so very well.
So we're going to take a look at the combat team, and these are the guys who are really making the guts of Jade Empire. What they do, essentially, is balance the combat, make sure that everything's functioning, and they've got quite a few tricks in their sleeves as well.
Demon form.
We have what are called transformation styles. So at certain points in the game, when you defeat some enemies, monsters really, they'll drop their spirit. You're able to capture their spirit before it takes off. By having this spirit, by stealing it, you're able to transform into this creature later on in combat.
A Kung Fu master is deadly with just his fists, but he's even deadlier when he's armed.
There are 5 different weapon styles, of which you can use a variety of different weapons with. There's a single sword, twin swords, twin axes, which you can use other large weapons with, one in each hand, as well as a staff and a spear.
There are still upgradable weapons. So for instance, I can advance longsword style in many different ways, and I can add speed and power to it. I can make it more defensive. In addition, there's the dragon amulet, and this is actually on my shirt there. This is an amulet that the player gets as part of his birthright, and it's essentially a collection of empty slots, and you can slot in specific gems that work like inventory items in a traditional role-playing game. So you can add to your armor, you can add to your chi refresh rate, so you can make your chi regenerate. You can add special abilities like flame or lightning, and this becomes an alternate way of enhancing your abilities.
But it also gives you a lot of tactics. You have body, mind, and spirit. Body is basically how much damage that the player can take. Mind influences their focus ability, which is their ability to actually slow down time, or the ability to concentrate and use more complex styles. Spirit is your chi, or your magical internal energy.
Chi it's a fascinating piece of Chinese tradition, really Eastern tradition. So when we started laying down the roots for the combat system, we knew Chi had to be an integral part. So you can use Chi to heal yourself. You can use it to make your attacks more powerful. If you learn magic styles, you have to use Chi at that point to power them.
But it also, gives you different dialogue skills as well. So if you have a more powerful body, for example, then maybe you're better at intimidating people.
To finish what you started.
You?
Clumsy as an ox.
If you have a more powerful mind, maybe you have an intuition sense that you can use to increase the role-playing and to find things you wouldn't normally find.
You are the one who stole the scrolls of the 7 wisdoms.
You do not stand alone, my friend.
BioWare enlists the help of real-world martial artists to make sure the characters in the game fight like true Kung Fu masters.
We went and motion captured all animation in the game with martial arts masters. Some of them from as far away as mainland China. The results are amazing.
We used about 4 different stunt people, 1 female and 3 males, and they had a background basically in various martial arts and put up with a lot of full days of punishment for the game.
BioWare is already taking gamers into uncharted territory with Jade Empire's blend of Eastern mythology and Kung Fu. But the team plans to delve even deeper into the world of Wushu with a unique cast of characters. Jade Empire is different from everything the company has ever done before. And the cast of characters they create is just as unique.
We'll look at some pictures of models for the game. And this is the character, Fierce Ming, that we created based on him.
There's a variety of different starting characters. Tiger Shen is our big, strong guy. Wu, the Lotus Blossom, is our balanced woman. Furious Ming is a fast male. Radiant Gen Z is a fast female. Scholar Ling is a magical female who's got a lot of chi.
The most memorable, the ones people will latch onto, I think, are the followers.
Dawnstar is one of the people that grew up with you at the school. She has this sort of strange ability. She can actually see ghosts often when other people can't, and sometimes she can even talk to them.
You have guys like Black Whirlwind. He's a drunken axeman. There's no other way to describe him except maybe smelly, dirty, drunken, psychotic axeman.
There's Kang the Mad, and Kang the Mad is the one that builds and upgrades your flyer. The flyer can be used in the flyer minigame, which is a top-down shooter. It's also the way that you can travel around the world.
Time away from the wife is welcome, but only if it is less dangerous.
There's Henpecked Ho, whose name says it all. He's had a troubled life.
He is coming! Death's hand is coming! Death's hand is coming!
Yeah, that's great.
And a mix of Hollywood and local Canadian talent gives these characters voices of their own.
We have 352 characters that speak in the game. So to get those 352 characters, we're using 80 different actors, over half of them being in Los Angeles, the rest of them being here in Edmonton. So simultaneously, we're running 2 studios over a period of 12 weeks, and it's just been a fantastically huge process.
It's incredibly hard. I'd be lying if I said anything different. It's very, very complex. All of our characters are fully voice acted.
Vigorous philosophical discussion always puts a spring in my step.
There's a lot of iteration that goes into the writing of them, and then you've got to make sure that writing works with every single choice the player could possibly make.
BioWare even goes so far as to create a completely new language to be spoken by the inhabitants of Jade Empire.
We hired a linguist who actually wrote the languages for the game, the Thofan language, and he has backgrounds specifically in actually Japanese and different Asian languages. So he wanted to give us this language that felt like an Asian language, but wouldn't be construed to be any of the Asian languages. It was definitely a challenge for actors.
An extensive amount of VO will really help tell the story, because then you start putting an actual voice to the characters, and then it makes the character more believable. Right now, we're going to have at least 14,000 lines of dialogue in this game.
The minister may dispute your claim when he arrives.
But voice actors aren't all that's needed to breathe life into the world of Jade Empire.
How was that, Mike?
It's really good.
Because it's our first original IP, we have a lot of creative freedom in the design of the sound. Like with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, we used a lot of course, Star Wars sounds. You can't have a Star Wars game without that lightsaber sound.
You guys ready?
Ready?
With Jade Empire, we have a lot of creative freedom. We can go ballistic. For one thing, the music, we're probably going to have 90 different tunes. There's a lot of music, maybe close to 2 hours of music in it. For the sound effects, the final game will probably have close to 2,000. Just the sheer volume and sheer variety.
The music is fantastic for the game. It has a definite ring of authentic Chinese instruments through it as a theme.
The environments are so lush, and so it's important to have music that accentuates. If you're exploring a scholar's garden, you expect a light musical theme with kind of, those chimes going in the background. But if you get into battle, you expect the Chinese drums.
BioWare will use every ounce of power from the Xbox to bring together all the elements of Jade Empire.
Because we know we're going to be coming out for Xbox, we can optimize specifically for that piece of hardware.
The depth of the game just wouldn't be possible in the other system.
As the 2005 release date nears, anticipation for Jade Empire continues to grow, and the team behind it is eager to finally get their game out to the public.
Do you know anybody who doesn't like people kicking ass and flying through the air? And now you put it into a game and you remove the wires and you got something.
I knew that this was BioWare's best story. This amazing story that is going to completely blow people away.
When I saw Jade Empire for the first time, it was love at first sight.
And the game's going to be awesome.
It's a magical experience when we get to the point where the ideas that you talked about are now real gameplay. There's no other way to describe it other than just sheer joy to be able to play the game that you dreamed of.
All of a sudden, the game comes to life, and you're like, wow.
We're really trying to take everything we've learned over the past decade at BioWare and put it all into Jade Empire. And we're really striving to make the best possible game, the best game we've ever made.
Come on.